how you can file for your employment income tax return. In case you are employed from a foreign country and you reside in Kenya, you are required by the Revenue Authority to file your return by 30th of the closure of each financial year. So what you are required to do, basically, you are required by KRA to declare that income. And in case the Kenyan government has an agreement with that country, you can be able to claim for double taxation in case it have a double taxation agreement where you can be able to seek relief for double taxation. Because in most scenarios, when you are employed in a foreign country and you reside in Kenya, the country of origin has already deducted their tax. And now when it comes into Kenya, you need to claim for that tax relief so that you are not taxed twice. So I'll take you with what you need to know when filing your return in case you received, you are employed in a foreign country and you happen to reside in Kenya or have an active TIN number. So what you're required to do, basically, just get into iTax portal and then input your KRA PIN here, then hit continue. Then you are required to ensure that you have populated the right TIN, then you enter the right password here, and also do a simple security stamp mathematics here, which is give me a value of 129. Then you need to log in into iTax. When you log in into iTax, so this is a common interface. So what you need to do, you need to come to where we have return, and then choose file returns. After you come here, you need to choose the tax obligation. So in my case is income tax resident individual, and then I need to click next. Then you need to click OK. Then from there, you need to populate the return period. So the return period is back from 1st January 2025 to 31st December 2025. And after doing that, you can either choose to download the auto-populated ITR return, which already contains the auto-populated details of your P9 form, or the form which you receive from the employment form which you receive, or document which you receive from the foreign country. But in most scenarios, when you are doing this, I usually recommend to ensure you make minimal mistake. You can either use these auto-populated ITR, which already contain auto-populated data, but you also need to ensure that you have the relevant documents with you so that you can ensure that the details which are auto-populated and which are in your tax document, they technically correlate with each other. So, but basically for this scenario, we shall use the manual traditional method where you shall get an Excel sheet and then populate the necessary detail in the tax document which you received from the employer in a foreign country. So let us get started. So what you're required to do, just download this Excel sheet here, which is a zip file. So let us give it time to download here. So it will just take a minute and we download it here. So just a minute, it will download. So because the document has already downloaded, you need to get back into your browser. When you get back into your browser, what you need to do, you just need to come to where we have downloads. When you come to where we have download, basically, you can come to this sheet which you have downloaded. So this is technically a zip file. So you need to extract the Excel which is in this zip file. What are we required to do? So you are required to click above that document. And when you click above that document, I usually recommend you unblock this document to avoid macros problem. Just come to where we have properties, then click unblock, then click apply, then click OK. And after from that, you can come above that document and click above it and choose to extract all. So just come here and choose extract. So when you extract, you get this Excel sheet here. So what you're required to do, just click above it. Just click above it. Choose to open with Excel. Don't open with WPS since you run into a lot of problems. Just open it with Excel. So when you open it with Excel, you can enable content editing. And when you enable content editing, the normal Excel sheet which you usually use to file for the resident individual income tax return will populate here. So we are using version 19.0.3. So from there now, we can come here and do the population of data which you need to populate. So you are supposed to enter your iTax ID number as we usually do. So you just come here and populate the iTax details here. So let me come here and populate them here. So let me populate it here. Then from there, you need to come here and enter the type of return. So in your case, you should just choose it is original. Then you need to come here and choose the tax period. So the tax period is from we can take it from 1st January 2025 to, because we usually return for the previous years, for the year which have already surpassed the income period, which have already surpassed, because this is declaration of income. So we need to choose to 31st December 2025. So from there, what is different from what we usually do in the normal filing of return, you just need to come here, drill down here to where you are asked if you have earned any income from foreign country. So you just choose yes. And when I choose yes, you notice there is something which are populated here, which is the double taxation avoidance agreement. So under the double taxation avoidance agreement, you need to populate the country which the income originates from. So maybe we can take is United States of America. So it is here, United States of America. So in the documents which you have, you need to take the document reference number from that country. So maybe we can take the document number, like you have the document number in that certificate. So you need to take the date of deduction. Maybe it was in field of we just take a hypothetical date. Then you need to enter the gross employment income. So the gross employment income, maybe you can take is we can say is allowed 6 million maybe. Then you need to enter the tax relief here. So you can be accorded a tax relief of maybe 90,000 here. So that is how we usually do. So what if you didn't have any employment income originating from Kenya? So in case you didn't have it, so we can just leave this section the way they are. And when we come to tax computation, you can see that this is the amount of tax which you are required to pay. So we are not eligible for personal relief in this scenario. So we can try and view what we can do. I want to see how it will behave. So, but this is how filing employment income from foreign country is kind of different from the one which we usually do when filing the normal employment income in Kenya. So that is the procedure which we use. So basically, it just means that in this scenario, we are assuming you didn't have employment income originating from Kenya, but you just earn this income from a foreign country, and but you need to claim all the reliefs which are in that document, and so that you can be able to ensure that you have filed your return correctly. So when you are sure that the tax you want to submit that tax liability, or that is the tax liability which you want to submit, but this is just for demo purposes. You cannot submit this magnitude of tax liability which you are supposed to pay to the Kenyan government. You need to come here. Basically, you need to upload now these sheets which you have downloaded from this area. So these are the sheets, and then you need to know where they have been saved after claiming all the tax credit from the country from the source. So you need to ensure you have deducted everything correctly. Then when you come to the tax computation, you can be able to claim other things which you had incurred there. Maybe you made some pension contribution. There was you can all the deduction which were made. Maybe you are paying for SHA, affordable housing, if you are making contribution to the scheme, and so on and so forth. And then you need to go ahead and choose maybe to validate. But this is the difference between the income or the employment income originating from Kenya and when you have foreign income. So this is detail of the double taxation avoidance, and this is the method which we technically use. So in case you have any query regarding this method or what you are supposed to do basically, so you can try and see if we had a relief of around 1.2 million. You can see the tax which we are required to pay. So, but basically, in case you have foreign income, that is what you need to know. That is the only difference which is technically different to what you need to file when filing for the employment income, internal employment income which originates inside the country. But don't worry, we always have a way to navigate around this. In case you have any query, you can technically reach me using the contact in the description, and we can have more discussion regarding this, because technically I don't have a foreign document which technically get granular on different deductions which have been made to that income. So in case of any question, feel free to reach me using the contact in the description. But when you have filled everything correctly and filled all the necessary data which you are required to populate, maybe we can take that, maybe you contributed to the pension scheme, maybe around 60,000. So this amount technically aid in reducing your tax liability which you are supposed to pay to the taxman. So technically it will try and maybe you can assume you paid to share this amount, and maybe to affordable housing, and maybe to share you paid this amount. This is just a hypothetical figures for just demo purposes. So you can notice that it is reducing the tax liability. And also this Double Taxation Agreement Act credit is also reducing this tax liability from the foreign country. But this is how we declare the foreign country employment income. In case you have any query, as I said, you can reach me. And when you are good through with what you have populated, you are good with what you have populated, you can go ahead and validate these sheets. You can go ahead and validate them. So it will just take a moment, and it will finish validating. And it will finish validating, just a minute as it is validating. So when you're good with what you have validated, then ensure you have the correct tax. You are good to go. So let us give it some minute to continue to validate. To validate, just a minute as it validates. So I have assumed a scenario where you don't have any employment income originating from Kenya, but just some foreign income which you need to declare to the Revenue Authority, and also you want to avoid the double taxation problem. So it's here. So when you are sure with what you have populated, you can get back to iTax, then come to where you have file return. You come where we have file returns, and then come to these sheets here, and you can come here, upload the ITR sheets which you have downloaded from the portal. They have been saved here. So you can come here under the document and take the document here. You need to, you are being asked if you own rental property. In my case is no. Then you need to agree, and then you can go ahead and submit it.